In its first 10 years, we've seen the Reynolds Center's Barlett Steele Awards for investigative business journalism celebrate international exposés on tainted foreign products, corporate bribes to foreign governments, and slaves forced to fish for seafood. But this year's Gold Award goes to the largest investigation in journalism history. The Center for Public Integrity's International Consortium of Investigative Journalists project included 107 media partners and more than 375 journalists around the globe. The Panama Papers, leaked from a secretive law firm in Panama that caters to the rich and famous, started with one German publication, but went on to rock the world.
Well, this story is based on records of a Panamanian law firm called Mossack Fonseca. And this is one of the biggest firms in the world that set up accounts for rich and powerful people who like to keep secrets. And they set up these accounts in offshore tax havens. Now, someone had come along and given the internal records of this firm, almost every record for 40 years, to two journalists at the German newspaper Süddeutsche Zeitung. And then they reached out to us to basically gather an international team of journalists who could look at the documents and find out what was in the public interest. Well, the results of the story were pretty spectacular. Within 48 hours, the Prime Minister of Iceland had resigned. We also had public protests on the streets. We had lots of inquiries from various countries. I think we've had now almost 30 different inquiries from 30 different countries. So the results were immediate, and of course there was a lot of outrage about the kind of information that we were revealing. We were dealing with 11.5 million documents. We also had more than 400 journalists working on the project from 76 countries, 107 different media organizations. So the logistics themselves were quite challenging. But also getting all the journalists to share the information that they were finding, that was a challenge. But they did, and we actually showed that this can work.
Find out all the health secrets contained in your blood from just a few drops taken from a simple pinprick, an idea so revolutionary that a giant drugstore chain started offering that service. Alas, that breakthrough was an illusion without scientific justification. Our Silver Award recipient, testing Theranos by reporters of the Wall Street Journal, uncovered how patients and investors alike were tragically duped.
The combination of the tip that I got that not everything was as it seemed at Theranos, and the strange feeling the New Yorker profile had left me with made me want to dig further.
And after 10 months of investigative reporting, incredible digging, he was able to track methodically the problems at Theranos.
And it's not just me saying that. The federal agency that regulates laboratories, the Centers for Medicare and Medicaid Services, went in and investigated the company's facilities and came away with a damning assessment of the state of its lab and all the ways in which the purported revolutionary technology didn't work.
We went on to show how Walgreens had forged this partnership that brought Theranos' tests to the public without ever really doing complete due diligence, without ever validating the company's technology independently.
And I had to deal with confidential sources who were very worried about retribution by the company and who felt they were locked in by non-disclosure agreements. And Elizabeth Holmes and Theranos had proven to be very litigious.
What we also tracked was the effort that Walgreens made to squeeze out of an agreement that it had with Theranos without getting sued, which was a long process that ultimately culminated in Walgreens stepping aside in June.
The nation's best-selling painkiller wears off hours earlier than its claim of 12-hour relief. That, in turn, adds to the addiction epidemic. This was known for some time, but the company Purdue Pharma kept making the drug and making the claims. Our Bronze Award winner is OxyContin's 12-hour problem by reporters of the Los Angeles Times. It finally helped recovering OxyContin addicts and their families understand the addiction that had damaged all of their lives. Illegal financial dealings around the world, fake medical testing with tragic consequences, and drugs making dangerous false claims. Sophisticated, relentless journalists made a powerful statement in the Reynolds Center's 10th annual Barlett Steele Awards that investigative business journalism has never been more robust or more far-reaching.